CNN calls it odd looking. Do you want to play this clip?
Thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured. Thanks to you.
Tom.
That's not it.
Yeah, a lot has been talked. There's been a lot said about this. I don't know. I see what people are saying. I see what he's saying. Okay, he puts it right on his heart and goes out. And then he also says, my heart goes out to you. So I don't know what was in his head, but I see how people were talking about it, but you know, I don't know. I don't know if I can draw the conclusion. And I think it looks a little weird, but I have a tough time with a hard conclusion.
Adam.
Well, look, Elon, there's so many good things I can say about Elon. Smart, intelligent, witty, the richest man in the world. You know, you talk about golf scores all the time.
Yep.
You know, if you played Madden, he's, you know, a 99 on wealth, 100 on wealth, 99 on strength, speed, agility, all that. Listen, Elon, public speaking maybe isn't your thing. Stand-up comedy maybe isn't your thing. So if he paid a little bit, just a little bit more attention, maybe preparation before going on stage, he would sort of avoid any gaffes. Now, he literally did and I go, whoa, what was that? Now, as a Jewish person, let me help you guys out there. He's not a Nazi. He doesn't go to Nazi rallies.
Yeah.
He's not a fan of Adolf Hitler. Stop it. I can already see the ridiculous media attacking this guy. Here it is. Reuters, Elon Musk's hand gesture during Trump interview festivities draws scrutiny. The guy was talking about space. I'm sure it looked awkward. I'm sure it looked weird. I'm sure if he had a chance to do it all over again, he probably wouldn't go and throw a SiegHeil out there to the atmosphere. He's more interested in going to Mars. So he's going to sustain this attack. But on behalf of the Jewish community, relax. The guy's on the good team. He's on Team America. He wants the good guys to win.
Vinny.
Sustain this attack. He's going to be just fine.
For all the people out there, yeah, great point, because if you're playing the Hitler, Nazi, whatever, just shut up. Just shut up. First of all, the guy's autistic. He has Asperger's. This guy has never been in the limelight. He's done interviews, which he's freaking amazing. He will put your lights out, and he did it to that BBC reporter. Like, I don't think he never thought in a million years this guy would be. Remember the last rally he went to where he was jumping? He's so excited. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with people that have Asperger's or they have these conditions. They have autism. I have family members that do. I have friends that do. They don't go in front of crowds. They don't do this type of stuff. The guy's genuinely excited. He's telling his heart is going out to them. He's in the moment. He's not sitting thinking about it. He's not planning it. So for people to try to do it, by the way, this story will be dead after tomorrow. Nobody gives a damn about it. This guy has bigger plans. He has bigger missions. Did it look bad? Yeah.
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
All right, welcome to the Death of the Universe, a podcast that is both an asshole and a cunt, Zionist and a Nazi, YMCA dance enthusiast, and double HJ giver to ghosts. It is 12:24 p.m. Korea Standard Time, Saturday, January 25th, year of our Lord 2025. You're currently listening to the preheated mouth air of me, Joshua Nobunatasio, and coming to you all from the still inflamed California coast.
Yes, it's still inflamed. I wasn't going to talk about it, but yes, it's painful to sit for long periods of time.
Get that cock sleeve, modesty sleeve. Is Tim, Snarko, Rubio, Buckner, how's things going? Is your town still on fire? I didn't look it up. Sorry.
I mean, yes. It was supposed to rain this weekend. Originally, it was supposed to have already started raining today, but it has not. I need to double check, actually. Hopefully, it's going to start raining tomorrow. Because if it doesn't, the fires will never go out. That is how it works here. You can ask Adam Carolla. He'll tell you all about it. That, like, basically, the fire season starts. It just burns. Tons of fires just burn like crazy for a month, nonstop. They cannot put them out. And then finally it rains and then they get put out and that's it. Like they don't ever put the fires out on their own. They always have to end up getting put out by the rain. So yeah, it is still on fire. In fact, a new fire started just the other day.
That's what I was getting at. Is I saw something of like even more piling on, and then there was that factory like fire or whatever? Was that?
Oh no, that is, I don't know if that's Northern California or San Diego, but that's not around here.
Okay, not LA. Well, either way, let's do a little rain dance here. I think what I've just looked up is that the much needed rain did arrive. It looks like
it's starting tomorrow,
4 hours
and
ago,
then for 3 days
in the New York Times here. Okay. Well, enough fucking around talking about your well-being in fires.
Who cares?
There is a very heavy, chaotic like storm of news items and memes as news, memes as historic markers.
Dank
that's
memes.
That's what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what has dominated the news more than SiegHeilGate this week? I mean, it's like neck and neck with like all the shit Trump has done in the last 5 days.
Sure.
Is two hand gestures. But anyway.
Well, this is standard Three Stooges syndrome of the Trump presidency, just like last time. Like, just tons of stupid bullshit all at the same time, so no one pays attention to it. Usually the most asinine, pointless, but like stands out the most thing is the one that people latch onto, which is why the Zig Heil thing becomes the big thing, because everyone hates Elon Musk. It looks stupid. He looks stupid. It's honestly talked about it like there's no way that he'll stick around for a long period of time but if Trump was like a little bit more canny, he just can't help himself. He like shoots from the hip too much on everything. He would keep Elon around because he will eat up. He is like a sin eater for Trump. And like he'll get all of the bad press. But the problem is that Trump will still get jealous of Elon getting all of the bad attention.
Yes.
Like that's going to be, he'll still be upset that like, oh, he's getting more attention than me, even though it's everyone calling him a fucking idiot. Yeah.
I think 100% that could be like an effective strategy or whatever to some degree. I mean, like obviously it's really easy to see through it as well, but somehow it still works, which is kind of going to be a theme of this episode, just the way that Trump gets away with shit so amazingly.
How will he get away with this one?
But I think it's because of his declining faculties that he won't be able to like keep his emotions in check as much as he might be able to in the more distant past. So yeah, I think as useful as Elon Musk could be as just like this sort of like firewall between his own bullshit and Trump's. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still betting on there's going to be some sort of dramatic kicking to the curb, but that's also partly wishful thinking. I like to see Elon Musk in some version of pain, whatever that might be. But also, it's gonna be unsatisfying when it happens too. I'm sure, for whatever reasons. And he's just not going to go away. Is the main thing. Even if he gets like profoundly, like dramatically kicked to the curb, he's still going to be fucking around, dominating the weekly news cycle, and it sucks. But there's still a lot of non-Musk related things to get to here, as the new manager of the America store has taken over. Just in the last 5 days. It feels like 2 weeks at least, but it's only been 5 days, people. Actually 4 if you're stateside right now, but I'm in the future slightly.
Yeah, congrats on that.
It's a real achievement on my part. I made it happen.
It's like being on the tip of the cock sleeve. You get in there sooner than everybody else.
Tip of the cock sleeve to ya.
Who's the most in the future time-wise?
It's a good question.
Who's the furthest ahead?
I'd have to look that up. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably close.
Yeah, I guess so. Because I'm basically, depending on daylight savings time or whatever, like 14 or 15 hours ahead of the U.S. time zones. But anyway, so yes, kicking off the Trump party. Oh, did you find an answer?
Yeah. Kiribati, it says. Damn, Kiribati. They're GMT plus 14, and they're the only country that's in that time zone.
Okay. I've never heard of that country.
Yeah, me neither. And it's nice when you pull up the Wikipedia, it just shows you a world map, but it doesn't really highlight, Kiribati is like over here.
It's probably impossible to see like island, like if you have a globe situation set without zooming in.
Looking at it on like the flat map, they put it in like the weirdest spot where it's like it looks like it's underneath Alaska, which doesn't make sense because then it's like, why wouldn't it just be in the same time zone as Alaska?
Yeah.
But yeah, to look at like a real map.
Huh. Weird.
Anyway.
Sick, sad world. Weird stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, the SiegHeiling, whatever. I guess I got a few things to add to that I haven't heard, like just repeated over and over. Before that, I mean, the first thing I saw really kick off this last news cycle, I think, was Trump jacking off the two specters.
Sure. He loves to do that, though. That's like one of his things.
As the honest to gayness village people. That was the real village people, wasn't it? I didn't even look into it. I just assumed.
Okay, kind of.
Like half of them?
There's only one real village person left. It's like the lead singer, who is the I think he's a cop.
He's the cop one. That's funny.
And he was like the original like village person. Oh no, he's not a cop. He's no.
I hope he's. I hope
this
he's
is
the
confusing.
headdress.
I think he goes back and forth. He's a cop or a ship captain, it appears, but he's the main.
He takes the best costumes, of course, for himself.
Yeah, whatever is in vogue. That's what. Like he was a cop up until that wasn't cool anymore. You know?
That was his contribution to BLM. He was like, I will no longer play the cop. We're still going to have one, but it's not going to be me. Actually, we're going to make it a black cop now. So, see how that evens things out.
And so there's like a lot of weirdness with this guy, which is basically like he's the only member left. He's the original lead singer of the group. His wife is the manager of the whole thing. And he claims that the Village People is not a gay group because the Village People has always just been him within like hired singers.
Is he gay?
He's not gay.
He's not?
He's not gay.
Bullshit.
He's married to a woman.
That doesn't mean anything.
So because of all of that, he says he's a real piece of shit. Yeah, because early on he was like a cop. And then like it seems like at some point he was like a motorcycle cop. And then at some point he like transitioned to being a ship captain.
In real life. Okay.
Yes. No. Like as the character. Because there was a sailor, right? So he was a motorcycle cop, and then there was a sailor.
I was picturing sailor when you said ship captain, yeah.
But now he's like a captain. So
he just made like a slightly new twist on the old thing. He just moved up in rank.
Right, yeah. But, I don't know. Anyways, that part is neither here nor there. Basically, the only person that was on stage there that was like a part of the original Village People was that guy, but he's also like the only person who exists from the original Village People and claims to be basically just he is the Village People. He is the village man.
I had no idea. Really learned some new shit here. I never really thought twice about the village people, aside from what everybody knows.
That is one of the weirder things about music. You would know, because you like have been in bands and done stuff and all this, is like when it comes down to it, like it's also a business, which is fucking weird to think about, and like stuff like that, where it's like, who's like the point man? Who's actually in charge? Who's like hires people just to like work on albums? Who's actually, because like, in your mind, you somewhat, like, romanticize it. The other thing like that, too, is, like, the disillusionment when you realize that, like, a lot of people in bands are, like, just, like, band nerds. They're, like, so into music that they kept, like, being into it and playing. So it's not like, oh, they're cool and mysterious people in the band. It's like, no, they're just, like, the complete fucking dorks. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, that kind of stuff, like, gets disillusioned when you go, like, oh, yeah, like, everything is kind of a business. And most people who stick around and are, like, that committed to doing something are, like, kind of nerds about it. They're not, like, cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the cool ones don't live past 27. We all know this.
Well, that's why there's so many bands who, like, their ethos is, or, like, not their ethos, but, like, their backstory is always like, oh, we started off, like, why did we name it that? It was a joke. We were just joking around. We're all, like, they're trying to pretend like they're cavalier, and they're just goofing, and we don't take this stuff that seriously. We were just goofing, and then their songs just got popular, and it was like, oh, geez, you know, fuck, I guess we're gonna have to take this serious. Like, they fucking loved that to be, like, the background of a band. It's like, you know that's complete horseshit. You know that you were busting your ass, you're fucking rehearsing, you're going to practice, you're learning and writing songs. You don't do that shit as a lark. You know what I mean?
There are maybe slightly weird exceptions to that, but then the one that just popped in my head was like the Sex Pistols, but then I remembered that they were just a created band by whatever his name is.
Malcolm something.
The fashion man, the punk fashion guy.
Right.
But like, yeah, maybe like with the exception of like a Sid Vicious or something, you're right. And even he maybe he was like actually really trying hard.
He was
practicing
trying,
his bass. I mean, he was bad at playing bass, but whatever.
Right.
Anyway, we're
you know
off.
what he was good at? He was good at taking heroin.
We're off to a very focused start, which is great.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
The village people.
Elon Musk could do more heroin than Sid Vicious, and I don't think he could.
I dare him. I fucking triple dog dare him.
I don't think he could do it. I don't think he could pull it off.
I was saying that as a sort of fantasy scenario earlier this week, that some hero should introduce him to doing speedballs, just huge ones, just 24/7, and let nature take its course. I mean, we all believe in the natural order of things. There's only two genders. Elon Musk should die from an overdose immediately. Those kind of things.
Someone should show him John Belushi, like, comedy sketches.
This guy's so cool, man. You should model your life after him.
Elon, don't you want to be funny like this guy?
He does desperately want to be funny.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying show him someone who was actually funny, or like Chris Farley, even. You know what I mean? Just be like,
I'm a bigger Farley fan personally, but yeah, but that's probably just a product of my historical moment, the context of all that blah 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 before and after me. I'm a 90s kid, is what I'm trying to say.
Sure. You exist in the context of all that is around you and all that has come and all that will be. Yeah, I know. You didn't just fall out of a coconut tree.
Hell no. So, like I said, new management has taken over. The YMCA will be the new national anthem, hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be like a consolation prize for Trump when he can't get the Gulf of Mexico officially changed to the Gulf of America. Be like, well, then I'm changing the anthem, changing the song. We're going to change the song, folks. Better song. Hypes you up more. Truer, more authentic song.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, he was seen on stage, and this wasn't even at the inauguration. Man, we're easing into it today. This was the day before the inauguration, where he also
Inaugurus Eve, as they call it.
When I saw the YMCA thing, the funny moment that happened for me was like, I was actually bummed that he wasn't doing the jack off dance for like the first 10 seconds of the video clip. And I just assumed like, oh, he's just not going to do it. He's too shy up there with these village people. And then as soon as I thought that, he started doing it. This like excited little child in me started clapping, cheering. It was kind of a funny realization that I'm just as much as I see through the bullshit, I was like delighted by him doing the thing. He did the thing. Come on, say the thing, Mr. Trump. Anyway, he was happily jacking off the ghosts of inaugurations past or whatever. And another thing that happened that I didn't actually see this, I just heard it described to me, and then I like looked it up to, I don't know, kind of confirm that it really was the thing. That they put on this like this video. It might have been part of a larger video, whatever. But like anyway, this part or this whole video was basically like an anti-trans like propaganda reel, and it was basically just like showing clips of like whatever, like people saying they, them, and trans people, and then but then it was like contrasted with like footage from Full Metal Jacket to show like what a real manly, cool military looks like. It's like of all the movies to pick, man.
That's pretty good.
What the fuck? They're just showing like Private Pile blowing his brains out, like men when men were men, and they had psychotic breakdowns and killed their superior officers and then themselves, and then went on to do Law and Order: Criminal Intent, as we all know.
Was that what happened to that guy?
That's one of the things he did. He's done a lot better shit than that. I don't. That's for whatever reason the first thing that popped in my head.
Oh, he's that guy? Wait a minute, it just hit me like who he is on that show. I would have never fucking guessed that. Anyways.
Thing I've heard people mention about that character when you go back to that movie, like after maybe seeing it as a kid in the, whatever 80s or 90s or something, is he's like supposed to be like disgustingly fat in that movie.
Sure.
And it's just one of those things of like how standards have shifted.
Right.
So, like he looks like pretty fucking good actually.
Yeah, in that movie he looks like oh god, now I'm trying to think Ethan Suplee after he lost weight.
Yeah, even thinner, honestly. But
actually, yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, you get my point.
Yeah.
Like he in that movie, it's like he's this giant big fat piece of shit, and it's like he's Ethan Suplee after he lost a bunch of weight. Like, yeah.
Vincent D'Onofrio's a hot guy, if you ask me. I think he did actually purposely have to put on weight for that role too. In any case,
yeah, for sure.
Trump's America 2.0 is in full force.
Vincent D'Onofrio's wife, her name is Karen Von Der Doink. And Karen is even spelled weird because it's like car.
My pronouns are
der
doink.
Those are der doink. It might be donk. It might be der donk.
I prefer doink, but yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, man,
give me some of that doink pussy. God damn.
Yeah, the my pronouns shit is just another cringe as hell thing Mr. Musk got up to, but we'll get to that in a second, maybe. And he's done. What was the one he did in the past? It was like my pronouns are prosecute / Fauci, something like that. So bad.
Every fucking stupid thing you can imagine.
Yeah. Well, he did another one recently after SiegHeilGate, but before we talk about that Nazi and those other Nazis,
we gotta talk some more about Der Doink.
Well,
Karen von
I was
Der Doink.
gonna say there's another Nazi named Javier Milei, and his congratulations Instagram post to Trump was pretty fucking hilarious. Did you see this yet?
No,
it's in the first link up top there. Great title here. From
yeah, I did see this actually.
I have no idea how to pronounce this person's username. Gatos Patagonicosu.
I'm gonna guess it's Gatos.
Gatos, probably.
Patagoticos.
Like Patagonia. I don't know.
Yeah, Gatos.
Anyway, shout out Gatos at the TrueAnon subreddit for posting, is it possible to die of secondhand embarrassment, with a picture of this Javier Milei Instagram picture. Actually, he speaks enough Spanish to possibly know maybe what, I don't know what this translates to, the text on this thing.
I was looking at it a little bit, but I didn't off the top of my head.
It doesn't matter. It's a picture of...
It's like angels. Oh, God damn it.
that makes
Something of
sense
the angels.
given what the picture is. So it's just Trump like hunched over, kind of in a unflattering like rendering of him. This has got to be AI, right? Maybe it's just or just bad Photoshop, but Trump sitting at the Oval Office desk with Javier Milei standing behind him with his hand on his shoulder, and then next to Javier Milei standing with his hand. I just noticed that this is what it is. I didn't look at it very closely until just now. A rendering of a ghost-like, wraith-like looking Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Holding Trump's hand as he's signing some sort of executive order or something.
Right.
And whatever this phrase means in Spanish.
It's the force of heaven, basically.
The force of heaven. The force of the angels. Yeah. The force. Air Force One of the heaven. And I just thought that was a funny little...
That's good.
Our world leaders chiming in. And then I just heard, too, that at the inauguration... So of what everyone's been talking about, of course, is that the oligarchs of America were all lined up together in the front row. Bezos, Zuckerberg, whatever. Let's say the Apple guy.
Tim Apple.
Oh wait, was he? Maybe I get the wrong. Whatever. A bunch of the business fucking freaks were all up front, of course, in a wonderful symbolic display, I guess. But in the very back row, apparently, was Javier Milei, like literally like back against the wall, just put in the shittiest seats. Javier Milei and the Italian Mussolini lady. I can't remember her fucking name.
God. What was that bitch's name?
Somethingoni. But in any case, those two were like just crushed, like squished in the back row. And I thought that's kind of funny.
That's very good.
That they're even there. And of course,
sure.
President Xi did not accept the invitation, it turns out. Although he and Trump did have a phone conversation, I think, on day one, like right away. And then immediately after that, it's kind of like you could picture it like a sitcom thing where like, I almost like to kind of picture it actually as like that sitcom trope of like people like going back and forth on different phone lines with each other and talking about each other. You know what I mean? Like that kind of...
Yeah.
Hang on, let me put you on the other line, and then you accidentally don't change the other line and you reveal something to someone. Yeah, I'd like to picture that's what was going on with Xi and Trump, and then right after he got done talking to Trump, he talked to Putin for like an hour and a half, and I like to imagine they were just talking mad shit about him. But
I was going to say that Xi would see Trump doing his, jack-off dance and think that he could hire him to work at those milking factories that Jordan Peterson had posted that picture of that they have in China.
Right, those milking factories.
Yeah, the Chinese milking factories. Yeah.
From the porn clip that Jordan Peterson didn't
know anything about. He
couldn't
clearly
understand.
I came across it on accident, bucko.
That's how he like justifies his jack off materials. Like, this is actually propaganda from the cultural Marxists.
They're trying to make something so disgusting and brutal that I can't find it sexually arousing. And to show them, I will masturbate to completion to it.
That's how we win this fight. Then, of course, the Hitler, Musk, whatever controversy that is so annoying. But there were a couple... Like I said, there were a couple of little details like sort of related to it that I found funny that I haven't heard talked about yet. So everyone has probably heard the ADL weighing in defending Musk, which is insane. So yeah, they weighed in. I'm not going to like read their statement. People who are listening to this probably already heard it a few times on like different commentaries or whatever. But
you think people who listen to this listen to any other podcasts? I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe not.
So. Why would they? I mean, what are you going to get from wherever else?
I mean, I think things to add to this a little bit as well are that like, so there's this absurd demographic of people that are like denying that what he did was what he obviously did, including Joe Rogan. I sent you that clip like kind of right before we got on here. I might just like clip some of that out and I don't think we really need to listen to it right now, but
Okay.
I mean, you remember what he said, right? It's so ridiculous. He's like, I don't know who the guest was that he was talking to, but he was a little fucking pissant piece of shit as well. It's just like, oh, how can these people be so naive to think he's doing a Sieg Heil? And they did the thing that other people have been doing online, which is like, you could take photographs of any person who's like been giving a speech and looks like they're giving a Sieg Heil. Like, sure, you're right. But you know what you can't do? You can't turn the video footage to shit that looks like what he did. Which was... Oh, go ahead. Well, which on the other side of it, people are posting things that are like, they're taking clips from like American History X or whatever, like clips of actual Nazi salutes, whatever, and just like syncing it. It just syncs exactly. Like, I mean, of course it does. But anyway, sorry, what were you going to say?
That's what he's doing. No, I was just going to say, yeah, like the same. For me, the one that I really appreciated was Amir Odom. He's like a YouTuber who I guess is friends with Brett Cooper. He's like a gay black right wing YouTuber, and he did the same thing. He said like, "Oh, why are people up in arms about this?" You know,
up in arms. That's good.
Up in arms, yeah, pretty good. About this, and it's Elon Musk, but not this, and it's like Obama and Hillary, and they're doing the same thing.
AOC,
and it's like, and you can say whatever you want about, oh, they're just waving, and yeah, exactly what you said. It's like, yes, they are just waving. That is the difference. The difference is
you can find the video footage.
Yeah. Yeah, you are posting pictures of the people waving, but you're like, but who? It's like you are. Why are you twisting yourself up for this to be like just fully capping for this thing in such a nonsensical way? It's like it is like fucking beyond like reality. You've swallowed the fucking fishing pole. It's not just hook, line, and sinker. You are literally like beyond like the whole tackle box. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You can find a picture that looks similar of these people and, oh, don't give me that they're just waving thing. It's like, well, yes, they are just waving, and he's not. Like, how is that, like, pshaw?
Well, I mean...
Fuck, what are you talking about?
I mean, if that's what they're going for, that's even dumber somehow than, like, the other line of thinking, which is like, see, you can make anyone look like they're doing this when they're actually not. Right. Which is, I think that's what I assumed the point was of showing the, like, still images of, like... Elizabeth Warren and Obama and whatever, like with their arms outstretched. But like, I mean, if their point is, okay, he is a Nazi, but these guys are Nazis too, then they're really fucking, oh my God.
That's why I say it's so twisted up, because that guy, Amir, he played the fucking video. So it's like he played the video of Musk doing the Nazi salute and then showed the pictures and was like, look, you can take these pictures out of context and make it look like they're doing the Nazi salute. And sure, they're just waving, but you know, still... We live in a society where, you know what I mean? But it's like, yes, but you just played the fucking video. You know that he wasn't just waving. He wasn't just waving. You know that he wasn't just waving.
And that's like, I mean, I don't think they watched the video on the Rogan clip. It doesn't matter. Like, you know, everybody's seen it. So like, even whether you showed it or not, it's like everyone saw it. Like, I mean, it'd be funny if there was just some idiot who like only saw the still image and just started reacting to that on like a YouTube channel. It's like, this could be anything. I think he's actually tipping an invisible hat to the audience.
Right. Yeah, it's a Rorschach test. If you see a Nazi salute, then that actually means that you are the Nazi.
Yep. Not the guy who just
who's doing it.
Who's just endorsed the fucking Nazi party in Germany. Alternative for Deutschland party, the guy who wants to get Tommy fucking Robinson, the British Nazi extraordinaire, out of jail. Not the guy who, and like this is to like lesser damning, I guess, but it's still something that I support.
Lesser Dam, that's a great city, especially at this time of year. Lesser Dam, oh man. Continue. Sorry.
Get the space cakes there. I hear they're good.
Yeah. Oh man.
You know, but his grandparents were just like outright Canadian Nazis, or you know, Nazi supporters, whatever. They weren't like members. I mean,
Elon Musk's dad is a fucking Nazi.
I'm pretty sure his dad is. Yeah, I mean, but like his parents were like actual like supporters of the Nazi party at the time. Which whatever. I mean, I guess like lots of people were, but in any case, like. Well, anyway, I like the more interesting stuff to me about this is like just some of the defensive reactions. So you had the ADL, but then our favorite internet personality, Eve Fartlow, do not dead name her.
Oh my God! I'm sure she fucking lost her mind.
She weighed in a pretty hilarious way.
Thank God. I'm sure it was metered and reasonable. I don't know.
I just realized this link is to something I posted on Reddit, but it's just a screenshot of what she had to say, or someone actually reacting to her. But yeah, fart low continues to fart low when they fart high. She wrote, false accusations of Nazism are incredibly harmful during a time when the mainstream media is letting real Nazis, Hamas, have the mic without question. So
they're passing him the mic in the cipher. They're letting him spit hot bars on the track. And Eve Fartlow knows about this because, she knows about homies set checking you.
There's at least two things wrong with what she's saying here, at least. One is the insane denial of reality, for obviously.
Sure.
But then, no, the real Nazis are Hamas, who, without question, get platformed by the mainstream media.
Who is letting I can't remember the last time I heard Hamas at all, let alone it's being allowed to go. Yeah, like you said, mainstream media is front paging whatever Hamas has to say.
I know that the drop site news guys, Jeremy Scahill and Ryan Grimm, have direct lines, Zoom lines to members of the Qassam Brigades, I believe. Sure. But even then, they're not just giving them the mic to whatever. In any case, it's just an insanely stupid thing to say, as we would expect from Ms. Fartlow. But the person that I saw quoting this on Twitter, I'll just at I am your Jean or Jean. In any case, someone with a Palestinian flag in their handle, so you know where they stand. She said,
it's good.
She said, you bunch called Greta Thunberg a Nazi for having a stuffed octopus toy, which I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, it was a good one.
One of the, millions of instances of people seeing anti-Semitism where it 100% doesn't exist, which is obviously the central hypocrisy in all of this, insane contradiction, the ADL and Eve Fartlow and all the rest. There's a bunch of other examples. I don't need to get into any more really, but defending this obvious display of, at best, just cringe ass troll kind of, let's call it 2chan behavior. It's not even full 4chan. It's just diluted. It's half a Nick Fuentes.
Sure.
By the way, was one of the people praising this along with other actual Nazis who are thank you, sir, for giving voice to the voiceless of us white supremacists out here. And then that's what makes these people sort of in the middle of it all, Rogan and Fartlow and all these people seem so much more pathetic. Is look, there's normal people to the left of center who obviously can see what this is, but then all the people who are actual Nazis love it. Does that not say anything to you? I mean, aside from the base fact that anyone should be able to be honest with themselves, be yeah, look at what he did. It's very clear what he fucking did.
Anyone should just be allowed to be a Nazi too. It's fine. Okay. What the fuck? Oh, I have to. This is one of my pedantic. I gotta be pedantic and get it out there and make it clear. I understand the idea of what you were saying it's not 4chan, it's 2chan, but unfortunately, because of how it actually works, 2chan was the original.
That's
4chan
true.
4chan was actually a knockoff. And then it's 8chan was then the next, and then there's so it would actually, the number needs to go up to be more Bobo, not go down. This files on a.
But I'm trying to say that it's less hardcore.
I get what you mean, yeah, but it goes the other way actually. Yeah. Anyways,
see, when I see 8chan compared to 4chan, I think of it as more Nazified, more racist. But maybe I'm just not perceiving it correctly.
Nah, it's not. I mean, yes and no.
I've never been on those websites.
Yeah, I've never watched
humble
porn
brag.
But yeah, it goes in. This is on the category of the grain of salt. When people say take it with a grain of salt thing, it always drives me mad, and I have to do the actually, when people do the take it with a whole bag of salt, take it with a giant, and it's that is actually the opposite of what that phrase means. And the smaller the grain of salt actually denotes, the more that you should find what someone is saying to be dubious.
Ooh, that is a good pedantic one that I never even considered. I've just let that slide when I've heard people say a giant grain of salt or a big ass.
Yeah, when they say that, it's like, it's like that would actually mean that what you find that what the person is saying to be more credulous, that you would actually trust it, because you would have to take it with a large grain. Anyway,
that's some good. That's your actually corner for this episode. Some of the other dumb shit that Rogan said was like, do you know that actually until like 1942, JB looked this up, and until 1942, the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance was done with outstretched like Roman salute, which apparently is like also not even a real thing. I don't know. I saw some YouTube video debunking that as well, but no, it's just, it looks the same. Like people just did like the outstretched, Sieg Heil thing, but they also didn't like slap their chests first and do it either. They just raised their arms. But in any case, it's like nothing to do with anything. He's like saying this as if it like, oh, doesn't this double explain away what Elon, my good friend Elon, did? It's like, no, man. If anything, it just like damns America as being pro-Nazi for the longest time, and maybe always. But and then so he goes from there. He's like trying to like find these like historical like little tidbits that are like, man, this really just puts the nail in the coffin on that argument that Musk actually Sieg Heiled. Is we used to have a similar arm movement for doing the Pledge of Allegiance until 1942, and then the guest that he had on was like by 1942 we didn't even really know what was going on with Nazis yet. I'm like, motherfucker, read a book. But anyway, dude, watch a YouTube documentary. You don't even have to say read a book anymore. Like, fucking go on YouTube and learn something, anything. But then he talked about this guy in India who like had this insane world record where he like wouldn't lower his arm for like 70 years or some shit.
Yes.
And he's like, that means this guy's like the biggest Nazi. If Elon Musk's a Nazi, that means the Indian guy who didn't ever put his arm down is the ultimate Nazi. He's like, he's so self-satisfied with this. It's just.
And did you know that the swastika is an Indian symbol? So I mean, fuck, that guy's like a triple Nazi.
I'm surprised his mind didn't go. Actually, I'm not. He's so stupid. But yeah,
he doesn't know that. Yeah,
he doesn't know that one.
Those kids can't read.
I guess, and then maybe the last bit on this is like an insane number of notes today. Also, for the listener, if you are curious to see the stupid Rogan thing and don't want to keyword search it, there's a link in the show notes, by which I mean the document that is in the show description. So yeah, of course, Elon Musk is like just tweeting up a storm about this. He's I don't know, upset, but like playing it like he's just going into more like edgelord territory. For example, he tweeted out the following: "Don't say Hess to Nazi accusations." These are all ended with exclamation points, by the way. So he's doing puns here, he thinks. Don't say Hess to Nazi accusations. Some people will Goebbels anything down. Stop gurring your enemies. There's two more. This is hard to get through. His pronouns would have been he, Himmler. Bet you did not see that coming. Laugh, cry emoji.
God damn, that's good. That's like the chain text with all the emojis. It's like that, but it's about.
It's funny how like Trump and Musk and Jordan Peterson and all these fucking freaks, their tweets do just look like AI slop, like spam emails, like the way they format everything and stuff. Looks like some shit your grandma would text you. And then he also came out with this very astute point, which I was referencing at the beginning of this episode. Apparently, I'm a Zionist and a Nazi, double cry emoji, as if like that's the most insane thing to be simultaneously a Zionist and a Nazi. Which I saw, which this was delivered to me through the retweeting by Mondo Weiss, a very good independent journalism outfit with just the the commentary. Yeah, exactly. So take that, Mr. Musk from Mondo Vice. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need any commentary, does it? Like Zionism, Nazism, there's some overlaps. You can find them. Search your favorites, Google or Bing or whatever. I think that's all I got for that for Nazigate, which I thought somehow thought we'd get through faster. But anyway, what do you want to say about this
okay,
bullshit?
I was going to ask your expertise. Basically, like, as we talked about it, I mentioned it earlier, as a musician, as a member of multiple bands and all this. When Elon was doing his hand gesture, his stemming hand gesture, as
spurging out.
Yeah. When he hits the heart and then he puts the arm straight out. Hopefully someone is recording the video because I just did it. He was implementing extreme bass face. Did you notice that? The extent to which he was really hitting the.
Oh, I can, like in retrospect,
something.
I can see that. Yeah. He's just putting way too much physical effort into that.
Yeah.
It does come across that way. Like he's like it's a very spastic type movement, but so is the original style. Watch Hitler do it. It looks he's grunting and shit too, and he does it. You just gotta put your whole body into it, your whole solar plexus.
Mm-hmm. To me, it's just he really thought he was doing something. You know what I mean? And like to them,
he's
it's
so
just,
excited. You see how overexcited he is to do it.
Yeah. It makes it hard for me to go like it's a spastic thing. Now, if you're saying I buy, but that's what makes it tough because it's a bunch of horse shit, like all of it. Like I buy the idea that
I just meant it looks spastic, but I'm not saying that like he was just actually whatever, any of those silly excuses. No, he planned this out for sure. I mean, I would maybe even buy the idea that it just popped into his head as something to do, but I mean, that's still way less likely. And that, I forget who said this. I'd like to credit them, but whatever. I heard someone somewhere suggest that possibly with his recent meetings with the Alternative for Deutschland party, that one of those members just like bet him that he couldn't get away with SiegHeilGate behind the presidential seal, like at the inauguration. He's like, it was just like all like a fucking annoying internet troll edgelord Nazis like trying to out edge each other.
But he's putting so much into it, and like that's what I was saying. Like I wasn't like countering you; I was countering more the argument, the idea, like to say like, oh, it's just a spastic reflex. He's just doing whatever because he's weird. Absolutely, do not buy it. I would buy he really meant the like I'm taking my heart and it's going out to you thing, which is weird though because he points upwards and he's on a stage, right? If you're going out to the crowd, like. Why would you go upwards when you're already on the stage? You're above the people. The people are down below you.
I mean, is there a balcony in the audience? I don't know, but whatever.
Sure, whatever. Either way, my point just being, I buy that more, the idea that he was actually, because he was putting so much effort into it. He was clearly, that's why I say he's doing the bass face. He really thought he was doing something. He wasn't just spastically moving his body weird because he's a fucking, But the problem with the whole thing is you can't buy anything of anything because they're just, they're tacking too many excuses on. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's this. But not just like saying like if any of it was true, they would just have the real answer and that's all that they would say. But the fact that they go like, oh, it's this. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's this. Like it's all horseshit. It's just he was just doing a fucking Nazi salute. He really thought he could get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, like the really I guess another obvious sort of analysis of the whole thing is that he totally pre-planned it. And pre-planned the line as like a cover, right? Is like, oh, I'll say my heart's going out. Isn't that? Oh God, he's probably just like jacking off with excitement.
Right.
Like, oh, this is gonna be so good. I'm gonna get away with it. They're gonna really buy this heart thing, or at least, people are gonna be arguing about it online, which is of course what he really wants more than anything. Is all this attention he's getting, which is why it's so annoying that. I feel the need to still weigh in on this, but whatever. It's like I say every week, basically, when we inevitably bring up Elon Musk somehow to some extent. Like I resent the fact that I feel my hand forced on this shit, but whatever.
I hope he dies.
Yeah, I was thinking when he slapped his chest like that, how funny it would have been if he just stopped his heart.
Yeah.
Sieg, just fall down.
I'm coming to you, Doris. That would actually be funny, so he would not do that.
And just to slightly go back to Eve Fartlow, like this is the broad who has the free parking tweet saying,
Yep.
Don't read too much into this obvious Nazi salute. I saw the words free parking once and thought it said free Palestine, and it made me realize that I'm being terrorized by people who think Palestinians are human beings. So the other shit Trump has gotten up to this week is one of his favorite things, which is signing stuff, just sitting there in front of the press, signing things. He has a pretty cool signature. I gotta give it up. If I had a good signature like that, I might be more into signing stuff in front of people. But mine's pretty sloppy, like most people's. His is very like each one looks like it's been like stamped. It's very uniform. You know what his signature looks like off the top of your head?
Oh no!
It's very neat. It's very like neat and tidy, which goes along with his personality pretty well, I think too.
You think so?
In the sense of, yeah, like he's like a germaphobe. Like what I'm trying to say is gay. he's like a fey queen from Queens. Is he from Queens? Anyway,
Sure. It kind of looks like an '80s metal band logo, like before
Yeah,
it
I
got
can
really
see
over the
that.
top.
it's
Like, this would be like
half
not
cursive,
Metallica.
half not.
Not Metallica, but like a band that was like a knockoff Metallica that had like a friend who thought that they were like an artist. That's what they would draw, like the logo to look like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In fact, actually compare it to some of these early Metallica logos. I'm going to post it in the Discord chat. This time you'll actually see it. Look at all of these Metallica logos from early Metallica. Like the one that's on the left side that's 3 down, like that is pretty, that like, oh, I can kind of see, that'd be like similar. See what I'm saying?
Oh, I had no idea they had so many logos. Yeah, I get what you're saying, especially the larger bookending letters. It's kind of
Right.
the same.
Yeah.
So this just confirms that Trump is metal and
He is.
based AF. So yeah, he's signing lots of executive orders. I couldn't seem to find, I didn't look too long either, but exactly how many. I think it was quite a few.
It was a laundry list.
And I mean, I have like the breakdown here, but I don't think we really need to go through all this shit.
No, I think there was a good one that was like, it's you can't be trans. It's not an option. You're just not allowed.
Yeah, I don't even know what that affects.
a good one.
Like, I mean, I guess I could have actually looked into it, but I just like I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was trying to even imagine what it could be potentially. When they're like, Trump just signed an executive order saying there are only 2 genders. Like, okay,
No,
what does that?
no.
What does that mean? How does that like? I mean, I get okay. Is it? It could have something to do with like federal workers or something. Like, can't put a third gender, as Joe Biden told us about, on their like government documents or something. Maybe you have to use your assigned gender at birth or something, which sucks. But people are kind of acting like this means like. Look, it's hard to say this without sounding like I'm like defending it because I think it's bullshit. Obviously, it should be obvious. Man, his signature does really look like Metallica. You're right. I just saw it now.
Pretty good, right?
But like, the panic is justifiable. But like, this particular order is not. It's not bringing about like putting trans people in the gulag, which is how I'm seeing some people react to it. But whatever. I mean. Maybe better to err on the side of caution or whatever. But when I just
err on the side of caution, but like the overreacting and freaking out about stuff that's like meaningless is the thing that's like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, we should react to stuff that actually matters.
That's the opposite of being cautious. Yeah,
you're right.
Being cautious was the thing like 2 years ago that I heard where it was like, hey, if you were one of these people who got an X marker on your passport or any of your identification, try to get a new one that doesn't have that because it might become an issue in the future
right.
if Trump gets elected. That's being cautious. Waiting until now when he signs the executive order that we all could have fucking predicted when we did years ago, that's not being cautious. That's just, you're just freaking out for fun. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really doing anything. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know either. And like, I mean, I guess especially as an outsider and an ally, don't get it twisted.
I just, you know what? To me, when I see all this talk about gender stuff, I'm just a fan. I'm just in the stands. I'm rooting on both sides. I just hope they have fun. Whether you're pro or anti-gender, whatever. As long as, at the end of the day, at the end of the game, we can all just shake hands and get a beer, that's fine.
There's nothing in the rule book saying a golden retriever can't play in these gender games.
Can't be trans, yeah. No.
I'm attempting and failing to think of an Air Bud pun for this, but whatever. So yeah, tons of signing of things, some anti-DEI measures. Again, I don't know how truly scary some of this stuff is, and but what I meant by err on the side of caution more was not fully dismiss some of this stuff as kind of just meaningless or just purely symbolic, because but what I mean by that also is I just haven't looked deep enough into these executive orders to say 100%. This is just my gut reaction is because, and based on the history of Donald Trump in government, making tons and tons of insane, accusations and plans and promises that ultimately amount to nothing or nothing even close to what he's talking about. But anyway,
I just hope that he follows through, and at least once in the next 4 years, he tries to drop a nuke on a tornado. I just want to see what happens,
Well, I can tell you what's going to happen if you nuke a hurricane. It's just going to spread the radiation further outwards to more people.
Sure, but what if it doesn't? What if it does something cool?
People say Custer died a little bighorn, but what my book presupposes it is maybe he didn't.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, him suggesting to nuke the hurricane is one of those all-timers that doesn't feel real to me still. I have to double. I swear to God, I've looked it up to make sure I wasn't imagining this or that it wasn't just a joke or something.
No, but you see, this is why the fucking millennials have ruined everything, especially, Hollywood and being president is
and Adam Conover.
There's no bad ideas in the writer's room. And it's a sacred place where you can't be leaking. If someone throws something out like that, Trump just, bebop, and you're just, you're riffing. You're trying to just off the cuff. Okay, what about Forrest Gump, but he's black, right? You're gonna leak that to the media just because
Black Forrest Gump.
yeah, just because you're an intern on Mad TV and you heard. Whatever. Michael McDonald. I was going to say Michael McDonald. He wasn't an actor. Anyways, you get my point. You're gonna leak that. You're gonna try to cancel someone over that. I'm sorry, but if the writers' room was not a safe space on Mad TV, we would have never gotten Kenny Rogers' Jackass.
I think that actor's name is Mike McDonald, the tall guy.
I think there actually is a Michael McDonald on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. He played the retarded baby,
the coffee guy. Yeah.
The retarded baby, whatever that character is.
Retarded baby. Yes. See, that's the kind of ideas that you need to be able to throw out in the writer's room and not worry that the wokes are going to go run to the fucking newspaper.
Imagine a world without Mad TV's little Stewart boy character, whatever it was, or the Asian lady.
He was not the coffee guy, though. There was another guy that kind of was similar.
I don't know what you
looking to him.
Coffee guy doesn't ring a bell to me. But
there was a character in early Mad TV that was just a guy who drank too much coffee. It was literally called the coffee guy.
It was probably Artie Lang.
No, they had another act. This is crazy to think about, but
I see it. I know that guy.
Mad TV had two guys who were the same fucking guy. Anyways,
tall, lanky son of a gun.
That was back before it was illegal to be a white man. You could have more than one fucking white guy on a TV show and it wasn't you weren't instantly kicked off the air.
Patrick F. Kilbane is the actor, and it looks like
That's a strong name.
They do just call him Stan the Coffee Man or Coffee Guy. And
Pretty good.
we were talking about Seinfeld earlier for whatever reason. I recognize this guy as that episode where Elaine has Bizarro version friends of
Oh yeah.
Kramer, Jerry, and George. He's the Bizarro Kramer named like
Nice.
Feldman or something. I think I saw that pretty recently. I
That's
always end up watching a shit ton of Seinfeld whenever I go back to America for some reason.
Wow.
It's a patriotic act.
It is Feldman. His name is Feldman. That's crazy. Imagine how canceled fucking they would have been if people were leaking what they had to say in the Seinfeld writers' room.
Oh yeah,
There would be no Curb Your
No.
Enthusiasm because Larry David would have been buried 6 feet under.
100%. You're right. We
Yeah.
got. You know what? We do got to stop this wokeification shit.
So that's why we
now
need
that
to
I think
nuke
about
the
it,
hurricanes.
exactly, to retroactively save Larry David's career.
Yeah.
My God.
The one guy who gets the pass for being in the Bitcoin commercials because people are so fucking stupid that they buy into the idea that the Larry David character in the Bitcoin commercial being like, I don't know about this Bitcoin stuff. It was was his true real opinion. So then that means it's okay that he was in Bitcoin commercials, even though he still got paid. Like everybody else that was in those commercials got shit and people were like, that he's a fucking Spike Lee is a piece of shit. He's trying to fucking, help them to steal your money. This and that. And Larry David just got a full pass because people are so fucking dumb that they believe the kayfabe of the commercial. And they're like, oh, he actually thinks it's stupid.
Yeah, that's sad. I was just imagining, like, would I be sort of tricked by Larry David promoting an item or service or whatever? I don't think so, but I could kind of almost see it because I do have an affection for Larry David. But
Sure.
But no, I'm not that stupid.
I would take his advice on a deli. If he told me about a good place to get a sandwich.
Man, our periods are synced up, man. I was just about to say a sandwich shop, yeah.
Yep.
Or like a burger joint. Well, you brought up Bitcoin, so that helps us move along here.
AI.
Right before Trump went into office, he dropped Trump coin, and then soon to be followed up by Melania coin, and he made like, I don't know, at least the product at least like made something like at least $10 billion, and this is all just like outright scamming his most like fervent fan base. Which is, I mean, it's just funny. There's no way around it. It's funny. Did you see the little video clip of him being like asked about this? This is like classic Trump deflection mode. We should watch this one because it's also really short. So yeah, Trump coin has like probably ruined many people's lives now, considering the purest form of scamming.
Oh yeah,
there is really, and it was all like the success of this thing was all predicated on like just the insane enthusiasm and excitement around him about to take office officially. It's 100% all it was, and I mean, I guess that's pretty obvious, sure. But I mean, he'd probably do it again and still get away with it. And people still buy it. Like this time, Trump coin's going to be not a scam somehow. Anyway, here's what he said to the press really about it. Yeah, go ahead.
I actually think that the Trump coin is a little bit better than the other ones because a lot of the Trump coin stuff like explicitly says that it's not an asset that you can sell. Like in the contract before you buy it says like you can just.
No one's reading that shit though, man. I know about that.
But you get my point. Is that the other ones like the people buying it think that they're going to like make a profit off of it, but they can't. And this at least is just like all you're doing by buying this is
I guess that's
support Trump. Like you're still getting ripped off, but you don't have like this wish and dream that you're like somehow going to like hit it rich. You know, it's not like the lottery where you.
I think some morons probably did believe that though, based on nothing but like their own, like bringing their own, imaginations to the table. But I think that's what Trump and co were counting on too, is that a bunch of idiots are going to think, number one, they're supporting Trump. of course. But number two, and I'm going to get rich like Trump somehow off of this.
Right. Well, remember that there's also the people who made up their own version of Trump coin during his first presidency with the
Oh,
Rocky
right. I
Dinar
forgot all
thing.
about that. Yeah.
Like there didn't even need to be a Trump coin, and these people were so stupid that they invented their own way to fucking rip themselves off with Trump-based investments. So, yeah.
So those were like the officially, recognized by the Trump organization coins. But then there were these ones that came out that I think had actually, they might have some connection to Trump, maybe in a roundabout way, but as far as I can tell, they didn't. It was just people like taking advantage of the moment. And someone made a Barron coin, and then I also saw in passing, at least there was an Ivanka coin as well, and those were more straightforwardly just lying to people, like you're gonna get rich off this. So that happened as well. But here's Trump talking about it to the press. One of several great clips of Trump. It's just like it's like a paradoxical thing to me in a way. And I guess this has been analyzed like the whole first 4 years of Trump. But I realized like I really didn't pay that much attention what was going on from 2016 to 2020. I was just like, whatever, like Trump sucks. Like I wasn't like looking at all this was before I had a podcast. That's probably the reason. I think the only reason I pay attention to this shit now is like, mining things for whatever podcast material. In any case, in the coming years, you may hear me say things that sound slightly naive about Trump in a way that like already happened and it's just repeating again, but I just didn't pay attention to it at the time. So that's what I'm trying to say. But here he is, like a classic way, deflecting and not really saying anything and 100% getting away with it. Yeah, let's just watch it.
Yeah, I said, you ought to get it settled because he's not done very much on that. He's got a lot of power. Like we have a lot of power. I said, you ought to get it settled. We did discuss it. Yeah.
Do you intend to continue selling products that benefit yourself personally while you're president?
Well, I don't know if it benefited. I don't know where it is. I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful. I haven't
Did I
checked
do
it.
that?
Where is it today?
Did I make a coin?
You made a lot of money, sir.
How much?
Several $billion, it seems like, in the last several days.
Several billion? That's peanuts for these guys.
The wit remains.
Did he say billions? Several
Yes.
billions or millions?
Billion. It's actually like, the last I saw, it was like at least 10 billion.
Jesus Christ.
I don't really even know how a lot of this fucking coin bullshit works, to be honest. Like, I guess I just don't really know how the stock market works that well,
Fair.
to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like on paper, it made this huge amount of money, but in reality, he's still making a ton of money in his, like, going to his own pocket. But, it's not necessarily the 10 billion that I'm referring, is all I'm saying. But
Right. That was a very funny thing that I overheard someone, because I have a coworker who's like thinks that he knows about money stonk stuff now. And like I was overhearing him listening to one of like, the stupidest men on earth explain to you how to make the most out of your money. And it's just like, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about either. And the guy was like, this Bitcoin stuff, whatever. It's not even like, it's not even something real like stocks. It's like, come on, man. You're so fucking snowed you don't even realize, like, it's all the same shit. It's all speculative assets. None of it's real.
yeah, see, if I said something like that after saying I don't know shit about stocks, then
I don't know
fine.
dick about fuck.
But if you're some guy, who's like... who's
on the radio being like, I know about money.
Tried to brag to you about, how to get your portfolio real beefy. I have listed here this Wikipedia article to Trump v. United States. The only reason I have it there is like a reminder of that ruling that basically said that Donald Trump and any future president, anyone who is or was president, basically can't have criminal charges brought against them for anything they do in a official capacity as president, which could be anything. You could be like, I believed I was acting as in an official capacity as president when I stabbed 20 people
on Main Street.
Yeah, went down to Fifth Avenue and blew somebody's brains out, which is a Supreme Court ruling that I think maybe, at least on this podcast, I don't know if we brought up, but it is a pretty wild thing. And I think that, and maybe, again, I didn't look too deep into it. Maybe it's a little exaggerated to say that this means that the president could basically do anything, which they already kind of could anyway. I mean, how many American presidents have gone to prison? None. In any case, I think the more important part is that Trump knows about this on the only the most surface level, which is, yeah, you can do anything you want. There's nothing they could do about it. Officially, the Supreme Court that you've helped create has weighed in your favor, sir, and you can literally do anything. And that's kind of the vibe of this whole first week, is just like massive overconfidence in himself and in this declining country that he's imagining is on the upswing because of him.
Yeah.
And just this really fucking strutting and slapping people's faces with your dick. That's what people do when they're confident, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, there was this this big AI scam bullshit, which I don't think we need to get like super deep into, but there were some elements of it I found funny. Apparently there's going to be this $500 billion investment into AI. I think a lot of it is going to Sam Altman, which has made Elon Musk very jealous and pissed off and started to feud further with this guy. And also, what's his name? Larry Ellison came out and he's like going on about, I mean, it's just amazing. Like, this country is just scams all the way down, truly. And I this has been said in the past, not the first person to bring it up, but like, it's amazing how this is just a country of con artists, like from the top to the bottom. Like, everyone is just working for that grift. And, this is no different, really, I think, pretty obviously. But what Larry Ellison was grifting about to the press was how this money is going to go towards the world's biggest computer. He's just talking about big. That's what he said. It's just talking about big servers or whatever that don't exist yet. By the way, it's all theoretical. And then he's saying this is gonna allow these magicians in Silicon Valley to bring personalized cancer vaccines. The AI bot will scrape a sample of your tumor and put it into the image making generator and pop out a fucking cancer vaccine. He might as well say it like that. Like, it sounds like a little kid just making up a fucking book report on the fly in front of the class. It's like, no, this isn't all a big scam where I'm going to walk away with hundreds of billions of dollars in my pocket. We're going to cure cancer, everyone's cancer, individually, one at a time, with magical technology. And I do understand that there are actually like real cancer vaccines that have had a lot of success. I believe some of the better ones have come out of Cuba, country I'm going to mention a little later if we don't run out of time here. But anyway, I just thought that element of it was kind of funny. I saw him multiple times talking about it. I don't really know much about Larry Ellison, but whatever. They're all the same fucking guy, right? Basically. It's just a bunch of Peter Thiels with different masks on.
Well, if you follow the transvestigator people, they've gotten to a new level where it's like all celebrities are just like the same. Like, there's like 5 celebrities and they just wear different skin suits and go across. So yeah, I mean, yes, it's all the same guy.
Nice. And Trump, of course, is a day one business or whatever, early first week business. Man, there's so many things he said he was going to do on day one that he definitely did not do, which is great.
He ran out of time.
And, yeah.
He ran out of time.
How could he have predicted that he wouldn't have enough time to do 7,000 things and 6,000 of them he's never intended to do ever in the first place?
You know, the real scary part about the second Trump administration is like, you know what we're not hearing? We're not hearing within like the past, for the first 4 days of this new Trump administration is about how much time he's spending watching Fox News. Right? So maybe he did get serious and like he is focusing in. He spent that whole first day trying to do all those 7,000 things. He got tuckered out, but he was not busy. You know, didn't get all tuckered out from watching too much Tucker. He got
there before me.
Too much stuff. Yeah. I saw the wheels spinning. I was like, oh yeah, no. I know where you're going. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking what I'm thinking.
Tuckered out. That's when Tucker Carlson just drains your balls so hard.
Mm-hmm. There was a podcast that was called Tuckered Out. It sucks that they stopped doing it because it was kind of fun. It was like Knowledge Fight, but about Tucker. It's pretty good.
It's not a bad play on words. What was I saying? The pardons. Yeah. Trump's not a Fox News guy anymore. I'm a Newsmax man now. I've changed.
It's too soy. It's woke. Fox News went woke. They went soy. They're cucked.
But that is the narrative on the right at this point, right? It's like Fox News is too soy, too woke. Which kind of it is, I guess, right? I mean, just comparatively, but anyway, pardons. So yes, of course, Trump did pardon 1,500.
You know that Incubus song?
Never. This is canon. I for some reason remember this. You referencing Incubus to me, and
yes.
Me saying I was never down with Incubus, but
that's fine. You don't have to like them. You know the song though.
Okay, fair enough. My bad. I sound so overly defensive there too. Hey man, I don't even know who that is. What is that?
I mean, the big Incubus, that's for girls. Not the first two albums. Okay, the first two albums were pretty new metal.
Guess what I'm getting at more is that I think I'm a few years older than you, and just those few small years are enough to separate me from certain cultural phenomenon, and Incubus is one of them. I was too much of a music snob at that point to like something like Incubus. Sure. But so yeah, the January 6th guys, about I think 1,500 of them roughly, all got pardoned or had their sentences commuted, including the shaman. The Q shaman, who I saw, I didn't see the actual video. I just saw it like in text, whatever. But he went on the Piers Morgan show and was saying like, I guess this is a thing that like Q people have been saying now for a while. I think I hadn't really heard it before because whatever, I just don't pay super close attention to all this shit. But he was like, I'm not a QAnon guy anymore. Like QAnon is actually bad and a cult. I'm just a follower of Q. The real Q, not the fake Q that took over, diluted our powers over the QAnon community, which I hadn't heard that line, but I saw some people kind of commenting on it, basically saying like, yeah, he's spouting the same line that a lot of these quote unquote former Q people who still worship Q have said in the past. He also said, I think right when he got out of jail, I think I have it linked here. What did he say? Now I'm going to, all caps, now I'm going to buy some motherfucking guns. That's what he said like right after he got out of prison. Yeah. That guy has like a real like soy name, if I remember correctly. I don't recall, Senator, exactly what it was. Doesn't matter. He also was the guy who was complaining when he like first went to jail for his Jan 6th crimes. Jake Angeli Chansley. That is a very soy name. Chansley. That sounds like a Zoomer first name, right? This is my friend Chansley.
Chansley. Well, it sounds like someone who would the person who owns what was it, 2chan or whatever you were saying earlier. That's hello, I'm whatever.
Yes, Chansley runs the Chan.
Proprietor and owner of 4chan. Yeah.
8chan will become Chansley Chan when it gets diluted further. Yeah, so that was just Mr. Chansley, Q Shaman, tweeting, Xing about getting pardoned, all caps, just screaming, "Thank you, Mr. Trump. I'm going to buy some motherfucking guns. I love this country. God bless America." Another notable guy that I saw that got pardoned was this guy that I think I brought up on this podcast as January 6th was happening. the Camp Auschwitz T-shirt guy. Do you remember him? He was like a lesser guy.
Yeah, of course.
But...
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't remember how
he was one of the best. Yeah.
Far and wide that one went, but yeah, he got the pardon along with, like I said,
good. They all got the pardon, didn't they? Like,
basically every single person.
Even the ones who were like documentedly on tape being violent, they still got pardoned. Like that was the cool thing about Trump. Like we talked about it with Biden commuting the sentences of everyone on death row except for like 4 guys, and it was like fucking bullshit, like political theater, whatever. But like Trump was just like, no, fuck that. Fuck that. These are my people. What was the other thing? There was another thing he did. Oh, no, it was the Silk Road guy.
Right.
It's like Trump is just like, fuck it. These are my people. They fucking told me. It's patronage. I mean, it's just pure fucking clear as daylight patronage. These are my people. Tat. Yeah, you vote for me, you give me power, you do this, I give you what I said I was going to give you. And again, I talked about it last week with like the difference between the fucking Democrats and the Republicans, you know? It's like the Democrats do that whole like, "Oh, you're too clever to like fucking for me to patronize you by giving you fucking the thing that I promised cuz I'm just going to give you like a fake version of it and not the real thing." Trump's just like, "Fuck it, no. Everybody who got arrested in Jan 6, I don't care if you murdered a police officer. You're good to go. We're just pretending like this shit didn't happen." Yeah.
At least one, maybe others, did do that. One guy like tased the cop in the neck until he basically died the next day. And as much as I'm being a little bit blasé about the whole thing, I can see the dangerous precedent of this as well. But it's also kind of like it was already there. January 6th already happened. He already has proven that he has like a loyal army of like foot soldiers essentially. But this pardoning will just further incentivize people to do violence in the name of Trump, I think. But I also tend to think those people would probably be likely to do it anyway, pardon or not.
Right.
I mean, because they did already, like I said. But maybe even more people now will be like more emboldened or whatever. Hard to say 100%, but
it'd be very funny if like there were people who just were hitmen for Trump who went out and killed people over and over again and Trump just kept pardoning them. That would be funny. It wouldn't be like...
It's probably going to happen, man.
But you think... I mean, do you really believe that? Because I don't. I don't believe that will happen. But... yeah.
It honestly doesn't seem that outlandish to me, but that's because like hardly anything does at this point, like on any political front, really. Like it's all very plausible to me. I mean, all the worst shit. What isn't plausible is cool stuff like healthcare and, whatever, the laundry list of things that would actually be good for people. But all the bad stuff seems pretty plausible to whatever degree. I mean, I don't know why wouldn't he? I mean, it's so insane. It's so insane, this pardoning system that we've built already. Like, it's such a crazy thing to have. Like, look how easily it's abused. And this isn't the first time. Like, this has been going on since the founding of the country, which is when these kind of series of laws or whatever were written about presidents being able to just act as total fucking dictators when it comes to who has to be punished for their crimes they've been convicted of and whatnot, or you can just preemptively pardon people from crimes they committed in the last 11 years, a la Hunter Biden. But yeah, the Silk Road guy got out, which, like, the funny thing about that to me is, like, he is, along with a few other things, what I understand is he went to jail for essentially like allowing people to sell drugs through his website. So he's a drug dealer. He's just a drug dealer.
But not even really. He's not even really a drug dealer. He's like a guy who invented burner cell phones that he sold to people that he knew were going to use them to sell drugs.
But in like, what I'm saying is, like, Trump threw out the idea and is still pushing it, I believe, that like we should just have the death penalty for drug dealing. Right.
Well, he was stealing that from the Philippines guy, Duarte or whatever.
True. Or great minds.
Right.
But then he's like pardoning this guy and people are celebrating, and it's, I mean, like, I don't care that this guy's out. I think no one should go to jail for dealing drugs, basically. But it's maybe my like one kind of overlap with libertarians, I suppose. Except I still believe in like the state and regulations and stuff. But in any case, some people were really like applauding Trump for this, like even people that aren't necessarily fans of his, I suppose. I mean, basically all those libertarian people we talked about who booed him at that convention where Trump gave the speech, and they were the ones waving the signs saying they wanted this guy pardoned, and Trump has basically come out and said like that's the reason he pardoned this guy, because to some small degree those libertarian those beautiful handsome libertarians helped get me elected, so I'm gonna throw them a little red meat. We've got like it's a very long list here of some of the highlighted Jan 6 people, but whatever. Auschwitz camp guy is a good one.
You guys all know it's all of our friends. It's the ones we're in the Discords together. We're talking about stuff. We're 3%ers. We're Boogaloo boys. All of us. We all got pardoned. Even those of us that couldn't make it because of whatever reasons, like flight restrictions, or you just couldn't afford it, but we were spiritually there. We all spiritually got pardoned today as well.
Everybody on 3. Sieg! Also, one of the Jan 6 guys was shown having a little photo op with everyone's favorite ogre, Mr. Shrekton LaVey, John Fetterman. So that's fun. He's not veering further to the right, I guess. Just likes pictures. He likes the idea of photo ops. But that's just a minor detail there about the Jan 6 people. Speaking of January 6th, there was a Korean January 6th recently where a bunch of the incel Chansli freaks of Korea, the 2 Channers, the 16 Channers, they just like came out as a mob and stormed this, I can't think of the word, courthouse. Yes, that's what you call it. Court building, courthouse. Just trashed a bunch of shit all in the name of let our beautiful boy, President Yoon, free, please. And shockingly, it didn't work. He's still in jail, and they will all almost certainly be going to jail for a while, I'm assuming. But who knows? There's definitely corruption in the courts in this country as well, so anything's possible, I suppose. Although very few people are actually standing with that guy anymore. It's very much the minority within a minority type of thing.
Sad fake friends,
Trump taking away John Bolton and Mike Pompeo's security detail is really good.
It's based.
I like it so much. I wonder how that came about. It's just got to be people like with whispering in his ear that don't like those guys, right? That's got to be it. There's no way Trump thought of that on his own. I mean, I guess he could have, but I don't know.
Nah, that feels like a Trump move. That's bitchy enough to be a Trump move.
But like Pompeo is just like in his good graces. Like he just like gave a speech at a rally for him like 2 weeks ago or something. Sure. So I was a little surprised by that, but also not, because Trump, I mean, what he's known for almost as much as the P-tape is how he just throws everyone under the bus. Like there were like 300 staffers the last term, and like all but like one or two of them were like kicked to the curb.
They had it coming too.
But yeah, John Bolton obviously is a piece of shit. Both of these guys are just firmly in like the Bush era neocon camp. I don't know what's like greatest hits. John Bolton went on like CNN and just openly talked about not even successfully doing it either, which is kind of funny, but like failed coup attempts. He's like, I know a thing about coup d'etat, man. Read my autobiography where I talk about proudly about trying and failing to overthrow Venezuela.
Our democracy. It's Donald Trump looking out for Donald Trump. It's a once in a lifetime occurrence.
I don't know that I agree with you. To be fair, with all due respect, one doesn't have to be brilliant to attempt a coup.
I disagree with that. As somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat, not here, but other places, it takes a lot of work. Interim President Juan Guaido. This is clearly not a coup. We recognize Juan Guaido as the legitimate interim president of Venezuela. And just as it's not a coup when the President of the United States gives an order to the Department of Defense, it's not a coup for Juan Guaido to try and take command of the Venezuelan military. We want, as our principal objective, the peaceful transfer of power. But I will say again, as the President has said from the outset, and that Nicolas Maduro and those supporting him, particularly those who are not Venezuelan, should know, is all options are on the table.
And then Mike Pompeo, he had a classic line once. I forget what the setting was, but just a bunch of like sycophants around him, like laughing at his shitty jokes. Which I don't even think this was a joke. Like, he's just saying the truth here. But he said something about he's like, in the CIA, we lied, we cheated, we stole. Like, this was something we were trained in doing.
Like Eddie Guerrero.
And but the people in the crowd just like kind of like nervously laugh or whatever. Like, oh, he's got to be joking around, right? No, do you know anything about the CIA?
No, I mean that's the first rule of CIA Club is you don't say anything about CIA. No, why would they know?
There's so many guys that I see like on like YouTube, basically these guys are like former CIA and they're just like, they're parlaying that into like alternative media career now, which is, I find annoying, even though they do kind of like drop some interesting like facts or whatever.
The only good one is the girl on TikTok whose dad used to be an CIA agent or whatever, and she asks him questions.
Oh, I don't know.
That's the only
that.
good. It's just some girl on TikTok who did that. Her thing was like, oh, we ask, FBI agents or whatever, like the questions you want to know.
Yeah, Pompeo said, I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It was like we had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment. That last line there is so funny to tack on there at the end. And so just that's why I think he's not kidding. And like if you hear the audio or see the video, like, yeah. Anyway, whatever. Like, not that it's like, oh damn, he said it. He said the thing. He admitted.
Yeah.
It reminds me. You would know this this is a bit of an aside, but in terms of how you think about problem sets, when I was a cadet, what's the cadet motto at West Point? You will not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do. I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It was like we had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment.
So fuck those guys, and some of the commentary on the whole thing was like libs being like their classic thing of like, respect for the institutions is more important than anything else. So they're like, can't believe Trump is throwing these poor guys to the Iranian wolves like that, because that was the whole thing. So almost definitely bullshit thing concocted by the State Department or whoever, the CIA possibly, saying there's plots in the works by Iran to assassinate both of these guys, or at least Pompeo. I don't know about Bolton, but like, can you believe Trump is going to throw his own people? Yeah, you guys were the ones who paid the most attention to his presidency the first time around. How are you still surprised by any of this kind of shit?
Right.
And then, well, speaking of doing a coup d'etat on Venezuela, Snarko Rubio even, was approved by the Senate. Every last senator. I didn't realize they're missing one somehow. There's 99 of them. So 99-0 approval.
Yeah,
for
99 loof senators voting for Marco Rubio.
For this blood-guzzling little fascist slut, as I've typed out here in my notes.
I like that. I like that quite a bit, actually. So that's a good way to describe him.
He's a little blood slut. He's a slut for blood.
Yeah, well, I got it. I get it. You said it, and it instantly made perfect sense in my head.
Yeah, he's really maybe one of the worst people that's going to be in a position of great power. That
sure
does genuinely sort of worry me about, like, the way I see what's going to go down in the next 4 years, like with some of foreign affairs, is like all this shit about Canada and Greenland is probably almost. I mean, it could happen. Like I said, almost anything is plausible. Anything bad is kind of plausible. But I think rather than that, or even like the threats against Mexico, we're gonna invade and go after the cartels. Good luck with that. I think all that's gonna just kind of fade into the background pretty quickly. And what's really gonna happen is fucking with Cuba and Venezuela. Rubio is, of course, a extreme anti-Cuba and anti-Venezuela fanatic who is Cuban American. Did you know his brother, or maybe brother-in-law? No, I can't remember it.
No, I didn't know him personally.
Was like a huge cocaine trafficker. I didn't know that.
I think I
recently, but
I didn't, but I think I feel like I heard something about.
He
this.
like lived in the same house with Marco, like as he was an active cocaine kingpin.
Nice.
That's all I know. I haven't looked into it further than that. But anyway, he got approved, and this what that means also, by the way, is that Bernie Sanders also just went along like. What the fuck, man? You can't even make a symbolic gesture. Like, what? Because Marco Rubio was in the Senate? He was one of your esteemed colleagues.
He's one of his guys.
One of your gentleman colleagues. Man, I just sounded Canadian there when I said colleagues. Colleagues.
Pretty good.
So that's disgusting and not a good sign. And one of the things I am actually nervous about for, let's just say, the whole region and continent of Central and South America. I think they're the ones who are going to get the worst of this like 19th century style imperialism that Trump is like ushering in. Like, it's so insane that he referenced like manifest destiny in his speech and all that stuff. But yeah, so I think they're going to feel the brunt of like the dying empires, like death throes, just trying to expand. Like, Trump was literally talking about expanding U.S. territory. And look, all the fucking previous presidents were doing the same kind of imperial shit. They just, the real only difference is that with like so many things, Trump says it very loudly and clearly, which is better. I mean, it's better for us to at least not have these people fucking just lying straight to our faces. Not that, I mean, Trump lies to our faces, but about different shit. like his Trump coin, like that, those kind of lies. Oh, I don't even, did I make money? Did I make a coin? I didn't even know about that.
Nobody told me. How much? I'm just hearing about this now. She lived a wonderful life. Yeah, that's Trump lies.
Tiny dancer. So then this Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, I saw him getting grilled a little bit by Bernie Sanders. Speaking of Bernie Sanders, and he's basically asking him like, "Will you raise the minimum wage?" Really, just basic shit. And he's just like, "Hell no." Fuck no. I'm not even gonna equivocate and pretend like I have a good answer to your question, which is what like a Democratic, a guy in the Democratic regime would do. He's just like, no. And then like someone else grilled him about and I'm using grilled very, kind of scare quotes there because they're just ultimately the biggest fucking pussies rolling over for this shit. Bernie Sanders included. He's like, "Sir, are you trying to say you will not raise them?" Yes, that's what he's saying it really clearly in your face. And then I think Warnock was asking him like, "Will you raise taxes on any fucking buddy?" Like he just started playing like this numbers and denial.
Oh
game.
yeah.
It's like, what about people making $400,000 or more a year? He's like, no, fuck no. Okay, how about $1 million? No. Okay, how about $1.5 million? He just keeps raising the number. I think he got all the way up to $1 billion, and the guy was just like, no. I mean, he does say other words to try to slightly obscure what he's saying no, but barely. He might as well just say fuck no.
Right.
So that's good. And that guy also has like no real relevant experience to running the Treasury. He was just like, I think he was maybe even a crypto guy, like a CEO of a crypto company. I could be wrong. He's some sort of just Trumpian like businessman asshole. Maybe he's in real estate or something. I can't remember even now. But a couple other Trump cabinet picks. This I had set aside last week, but whatever. He's made this is just like funny fluff bullshit, but he's appointed John Voight, Mel Gibson, and Sylvester Stallone to be special ambassadors to Hollywood. which is great. Schwarzenegger's like an anti-Trumper, right? He's gotta be. I feel like he is.
Yeah.
Like he's like kind of lib coded now, even though he was like Republican, governor or whatever. Yeah, he's one of those guys like, Trump's gone too far. Listen, man, I was just whoring out myself to Bush's GOP, but this shit is
right.
This is a bridge too far.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I think about Schwarzenegger involved with politics, I just remember his speech at the RNC, I think in 2004. He says, "Don't believe the Democrats' true lies." So many bad, nonsensical movie puns like that thrown into the speech, from what I remember.
Speaking of acting, one of my movies was called True Lies. And that's what the Democrats should have called their convention.
And then he also lied about being growing up in scary socialist Austria. It just wasn't possible.
Not a thing.
Look at the receipts, the lack of them. Then this Pete Hegseth motherfucker, or as I wrote here, Nazi tattoo Christ fucker. His confirmation hearing happened recently enough, and the thing I walked away from that one from was again, it's just these totally ineffective people grilling him. And at this one, Senator Tammy Duckworth from Illinois.
Oh yeah,
good name, Duckworth. But she, all they were attacking him on was basically you once said women shouldn't be combat troops. Humph, harumph. Just totally ignoring all the other insane shit he's bound to do and has done and talked about, all of his Christian Zionism and whatever. Although there were, I think, 3 veterans who've all been radicalized to the far left who went there and started screaming at him about all of his actual scary history and almost 100% going to happen future war crimes that he'll be part of as the Secretary of Defense. There's something else about him. What was it? Oh yeah, Tom Cotton was talking to him, and he was like, people say being a Christian Zionist is a bad thing, but I'm a Christian and I'm a Zionist. It's just he's basically being okay, confess, say aloud to everyone here that you are Christian Zionist, and I'm going to whitewash it for everybody, or attempt to badly. And he also called Code Pink, the anti-war group, a clandestine member or something. I forget exactly how I phrased it, but they're part of the Chinese Communist Party, which I wish they were part of the Communist Party of China, as it should rightfully be called. So that was good. And one of the things Tammy Duckworth said to him, just this was just kind of fun because it made him squirm, but it doesn't mean anything. But she got on the subject of the Southeast Asian bloc of countries that is the acronym is ASEAN, and she just made him admit that he didn't know anything about this and that he should if he's going to be in a position like Secretary of Defense. But anyway, it's all ultimately it just hammers home how much everyone is just on board with the murder machine of the Department of Defense. None of them are talking about the actual problems that come along. They're just you're slightly unqualified, good sir. And then the fucking online libs are owned, got him. It's no, he still gets the job. And you just at best slightly embarrassed him about not knowing what this group of countries in Southeast Asia is called and who they are, which nobody else knows. Yeah, he should know that ideally, but whatever, who cares really? I mean, considering all the other shit. Let's see. What else did they do in Trump 2.0 this week? Well, referencing last week's episode, the ceasefire deal appears to be complete bullshit. It doesn't matter.
Worked out? Oh, fuck. What? I thought those crazy kids were going to make it.
Yeah, obviously I just feel so bad for people in Gaza. It sounds so, right. I don't know. It's a given, but it sucks so much, man. But yeah, I guess to be fair, in the week since this happened, in the 5 days since this happened, as far as I know, I could be wrong about this easily, there haven't been actually any attacks on Gaza, but they've instead just shifted all their weight to murdering people in the West Bank instead. There's revived talk about Israel annexing the West Bank, which again would just be a formality because they've been occupying it the whole time with the military. They basically already have annexed it, just not in whatever full legal/illegal terms. So things are not going great for Palestine. It turns out Trump is not the dove he told us he was going to be.
What the fuck?
It is insane that there are people like ostensibly on the left who were buying into that line somehow. Like, and not even like in a cautious way.
Yeah, right here, me. I was in. What the fuck, man?
You couldn't see through the
Never
illusion.
elect your heroes. You know, that's what they say. Never elect your heroes. Just get disappointed.
I gotta go soon. Well, whatever. I'll just get to this other shit next week, maybe. But yeah, I had a long list. I'm actually surprised it got down to this far in the list, really. But yeah, let's just wind it up, I guess. I recommend something. It is the Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me film fan edit. I think there are two actually different ones, but there's one of them becomes a massive 3.5 hours long with all the deleted scenes edited in to the original film. And if you're a Mr. Lynch fan like me, and maybe more specifically a Twin Peaks fan, you might enjoy that. I didn't get around to watching it for, I don't know, several years after it came out. So that's my recommendation of the week. Do you have anything?
Sick. I've been watching Deadwood. I don't know if I recommend it, but I've been watching it.
A rewatch or a first time?
First time.
Oh, I love that show, man. It's so good.
It's kind of crazy.
It's awesome.
So,
it's one of the best prestige TV shows
into the second season. Getting into the second season now. Been enjoying it. It's a little... I don't know. I don't even know how to describe how I feel about it, but it is definitely a lot of fun. But yeah, it's just... Yeah. So, like I said, I guess I will just recommend it. Fuck it. Yeah. Check it out. Either way. That's it.
Some great cussing on that show.
Yes.
is
lots of... Yeah.
A famous thing about the show, I guess. All right. And check out the Discord server, check out the show description, the show notes, et cetera, et cetera. Tim, you've got a show about wrestling, a podcast. What is that?
Yes. It is QNTR, I guess, technically. We haven't had an episode for a couple of weeks because of issues. But you can check out a bunch of other stuff on violentpeople.co. And probably by the time this comes out, it will already be out, but I'm doing something very special. I guess, fuck it. Like I said, by the time this comes out, the other thing will probably be out. I always hate to say something before I've recorded it. It's kind of like I don't know. I don't know how to put it. It's like something I've learned from wrestling. It's just like superstitious thing, but fuck it, I'll just say it. 5 years ago, I did a podcast that was like my good friend Daniel Makabe and me talking about every match that he had for the entire year from beginning to end. We broke down every match from the beginning to the end. We had a co-host, Quentin was on the show too. Haven't done that in 5 years, and we're bringing it back. But with a different wrestler. Doing it with Nicole Matthews, a legendary, over 20 years of experience, 20 years in the business wrestler. We're going to talk about every match that she had in 2024. And like I said, the first time I did it with Dan Makabe, talking about his year. This time, Dan Makabe is going to be my co-host. So it's going to be very interesting. I know, again, like not everybody who listens to this cares about wrestling, but just think about like any artist who does anything and talking about everything that they did for an entire year, nuts and bolts from beginning to end, getting down and into the details about stuff. I think that that's interesting no matter what the art is, right? No matter what the person is creating, to like get the behind the scenes, to get the thoughts, to get the nuts and bolts of everything that was happening behind the scenes with two like phenomenal like masters of their craft. So I'm very excited to see what it's going to be like already. And I do think that even like, again, this is I say it all the time when I talk about like wrestling stuff on here, but I think even if you don't care about wrestling, I think this is going to be something that like you can just listen to and get something out of it. Cause you're going to like I'm going to be talking to two very passionate people who are very passionate about wrestling. about like very specific stuff and just getting into stuff and like kind of getting the behind the scenes dirt on something. So I think that'll be kind of interesting. I'm very excited to record this. As we're recording now, tomorrow I'm going to be recording it. So
nice.
Very excited to see how that turns out.
Sounds cool. All right. And as Elon Musk always says, Sieg Heil, bet you did not see that coming. Good night, good luck, good morning, Vietnam. All right, I gotta go immediately. I lost track of time. I'll see you. Bye.
first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?